Yo, let me ask you something straight off the bat. When was the last time a new camera actually changed the way you shoot? Not like, oh cool, the menu layout is slightly better. I mean actually changed your work, like your creativity, your workflow, or even just your relationship with photography. Really think about that. Because let's be real, cameras these days are starting to feel more like a subscription plan than an actual tool for artists. Like every 6 months, there's a new quote unquote revolutionary model, some new sensor tech, some new acronym we all are supposed to care about. Stack CMOS, AI powered autofocus, 8K 120 FPS RAW, XYZ, Pro Max Plus, Ultra, whatever. And for what? Are cameras actually evolving, or are we just being farmed for upgrades? So let's talk about that. So I've almost been shooting professionally for the last 10 years now, whether it be weddings, commercial gigs, editorial, some behind the scenes work, and trust me, I've gone through a pretty good amount of bodies and used a lot of things throughout all of these experiences, whether it be Canon, Sony, Fuji, Panasonic, things like that. And I'll be the first to say that yeah, tech can be pretty exciting, and I'm not gonna lie, I personally love it. The first time I held a Sony a7 III back in 2018, it felt pretty good. I felt like I had a superpower, low light ISO performance like I'd never seen, autofocus that stuck like glue, and it really did matter. But lately, I just kind of feel like camera companies are just slapping new on marginally better and calling it innovation. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying every new camera is trash, because some of them are pretty cool, like they're pretty unique in their own way. But the way they're marketed, where I feel like it's just that pressure to upgrade, that influencer pipeline pushing pre-release hype on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, I feel like it's just kind of nonsense, honestly, and it's pretty sketchy. So let's dig a little bit deeper into it. So every new camera drop pretty much follows the exact same script. Leaked specs, wild speculation, is this the quote-unquote Sony killer? Then the embargo lifts and your favorite YouTuber suddenly has a sponsored hands-on review shot in Iceland or Tokyo or some hyper aesthetic city that they didn't even have to pay to fly into. The word drops like game changer or this might be my new main camera, even if the only major change was a firmware level update 4 and 3 to 5 more megapixels. Like you all know how this goes at this point. Then the camera drops for $3,800 and body only pre-orders sell out in like 8 to 10 minutes. People pretty much eat it up because we love gear, but also because the industry is built to make us feel like we're behind if we're not holding the latest model. And there's still plenty of cameras that are old that can still get the job done. So the question is, why do we care so much about all of these new camera bodies so much? Here's a hot take of the video for you, because I always have to show up with one. And I feel like it's that the camera industry is slowly moving towards the same strategy as phones. Incremental upgrades and planned obsolescence. Like proprietary accessories, locked firmware features, blah blah blah. Like why is it that I can shoot 6K RAW on a smartphone, but I need to buy a whole new $4,000 mirrorless just to unlock a slightly better 10-bit log profile? Like why did Canon cripple the R6's video with overheating by design? Why did Sony gatekeep real-time tracking autofocus from their cheaper bodies until the exact moment they needed to sell the a7 IV? Because they know they can, that's the reason. Because they know that people will upgrade, and they know we'll post the unboxing content, and they know that people will say, well, we're justifying it because it pays for itself. But is it actually making your work better, or are we just collecting specs like we're collecting skins in Fortnite or something like that? So here's where I want to pivot, because I think what frustrates me isn't the gear itself. I feel like it's just the fact that so many of us, especially the new shooters, are made to feel like they can't create unless they have the newest, best, and latest, whether it be lens, body, anything. And I feel like that's the biggest lie that people are constantly sold over and over again, because you can constantly be sold it over and over again. It's a profitable one pretty much. And it's funny because the things that actually change your work, like learning light, understanding color, finding your voice even, and getting obsessed with the whole reason why you shoot in the first place and not just how or what you shoot with, are the things that matter the most. Like I've gotten paid to shoot campaigns on a 7-year-old Fuji X-T2. I've edited billboard images that came from an A6400. And I know a dude who shot an entire film with Canon Rebel T7i and a 50mm f1.8 and was pretty close to getting into Sundance, but that's a whole nother story for another time. But to sum it up, I just feel like the industry doesn't want you to believe that you don't need all these things, because the gear insecurity is what sells, and that's how they make the most money. So now I have a quick question for you, and I want you to leave your answer down in the comment section down below. I would love to know what you all have to say, so definitely leave your thoughts down there. The question is, what was the last camera that genuinely changed your photography? And why? Let me know. I'm not talking just specs, I'm talking just impact. Like, it really inspired you to want to just go out there and do something. So let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you enjoyed these types of videos, leave a like. And 91% of you guys aren't subscribed. So if you're watching this right now and you aren't subscribed, I'm talking to you. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button. That helps me out a great deal. And then you also won't miss videos like these. I don't plug any extra ads or anything like that. Still a baby channel. So all you get is raw content and genuineness. So if that's your thing, definitely support me and subscribe. But anyways, let's get straight back into it. So let's talk about the deeper layer here, because I feel like the deeper thing is that we're outsourcing our creativity and identity to certain tools. And I feel like that's where it can get pretty dangerous. It's like we see these hyper polished creators on TikTok or YouTube using a red Komodo or the new Leica SL3, and we start thinking, damn, that's why my stuff doesn't hit, because I don't have that same type of setup. But honestly, it really isn't the camera. It's just about the story. It's about the edit and the composition. We think the gear is the gatekeeper, but most of the time it's us. It's our own confidence, our own clarity, and our own willingness to just try and simply fail. And listen, because I've done it too, I can't lie, I've blamed my gear for a shoot not hitting or thinking a photo could have been a lot better than it actually was. And I've convinced myself that I've needed to upgrade when really I just didn't want to have to face any lack of direction or just having to do any extra hard work that I feel like I wouldn't if I simply had the tools for it to be otherwise. Cameras are easy to buy, but actually growing as someone who is skilled and has vision is much harder. So here's my counterpoint now, because I know some of you are going to say, but bro, newer cameras do help. They make things faster, more efficient. And I definitely get that, because you're not wrong. Autofocus that doesn't miss, a blessing. Better dynamic range, game changing for tricky lighting. Internal RAW, dual ISO, in-body image stabilization, all that stuff is real. But that just brings me back to my original point. If the upgrade is meaningful for your work, then go for it. But don't let the hype cycle decide that for you, because the industry isn't going to slow down. Every year it's going to crank out a new model. Every year you're going to see your favorite creator say, this might be the best camera ever made. And it genuinely might be. But the real question is, do you need it? Or are you just being sold the illusion of progress? So here's one more thing that I would love to just get off my chest. I feel like camera companies have fully shifted their marketing towards the creator now, not the actual professional photographer or filmmaker. I'm talking legitimate content creators. And that's why I feel like every camera now comes with vertical shooting modes, YouTube and live streaming integration, TikTok optimized formats, AI subject recognition for pets, built-in background blur filters, and color science that matches Instagram presets pretty much straight out of the box. And not to say that these are bad things, they're just calculated for that specific reason. It's not really about elevating your art, it's about kind of locking you into an ecosystem that sells you accessories and making sure you feel like you're falling behind every time a firmware update doesn't include your model. Photography really did used to be about performance, and now it's about chasing algorithm relevance. So here's where I kind of want to land on this and bring it all full circle. Cameras these days really can be amazing, and that's pretty much undeniable. But I feel like a lot of what we're being sold isn't innovation, it's insecurity. And the truth is, the most meaningful work that I've ever made didn't come from a new camera. It just came from a new mindset and an actual plan to capture whatever it is that I was aiming for that day. Whether it be from slowing down, from caring less about pixels and more about the purpose, from choosing intention over just pure impulse. And maybe that's the revolution that we actually do need right now. Not another camera, not another spec bump, but a real creative reset. So maybe the next time you see someone drop a game-changing camera, don't feel like you need to change your camera in order to play the game. You just need to learn how to play your own. But anyways, of course, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That helps me out a great deal. If you want to follow me on socials or become a member and support the channel deeper, the links to do that are down in the description below. And once again, I appreciate you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.